I'm finally back to playing some rapid games on behalf of the series Road to 2200. All I can say, that's gonna be a long way if I want to reach that rating, and I'm already giving a much stronger opponent than I am. So I'm gonna play something offbeat, and against strong opponents I like to play the one sacrifice variation, which includes knight takes c3 immediately rather than bishop c4, which is considered a little bit more sharp. And also, if he plays knight c6 and I play knight f3, we transpose into a very similar position to the Göring gambit. But he plays d6, which I already don't like, but he's probably gonna outplay me anyway. So it's not up to me to judge. It's almost always good to point your bishop in the direction of his king, and I can castle because the pawn is protected. I could also play queen to b3. There's no real point in doing it now. Just need to look out for the pin, which is why now, honestly, I don't even have to move my queen now, because I have queen d3 in case he decides to pin me. So maybe I can take my time and bring the rook in the center, or develop my bishop. Let's go ahead and play bishop g5. I would maybe like to trade. If he takes on e4, that doesn't work, at least it shouldn't work, because then I take the bishop. Well, maybe it actually does work. He takes my knight, and then I could play queen e1. Yeah, it doesn't really work, but ideally I should have calculated this before I played this move. And also I can just take back with the knight and have two defenses. He decides to instead offer a trade of bishops, which I don't mind because, well, actually, I was about to say I was going to take and then play queen b3, but he has queen c8. What other options do I have? Well, queen b3, he's just gonna take the bishop. I mean, I can still take and then play e5. Let's do that. Or just play queen b3 and try to apply pressure with knight d4. That also looks logical. Okay, he decides not to defend the pawn at all, which is why I'm probably gonna capture this one. Yeah, now do I need to rescue my queen though? I mean, I probably should. I don't like the idea of him winning my pawn back. Maybe I'm being a little greedy. Yeah, because I lost some tempo. Like if I go here, there might be d5. So I would like to go to c2. Shouldn't get in any trouble. Like before, I just go to move my queen to e2. And I'm also trying to keep up the clock, because being down the rating and being down the clock, you can't do that. Okay, instead he decides to kick my bishop out. I could go bishop h4, but then my bishop might get a little stuck, so bishop e3 is by far the most natural move to me. Also putting some pressure on the a7 pawn. Well, this move I failed to calculate, to be honest. Let's play rook e1. Don't want to think for too long. Now he decided not to take. Okay, this is a move I did not expect. And if I take, it looks like he's gonna take back and threaten a fork. Slightly inconvenient. Another option is to just go rook d1 and disallow him to take, or even push, I think. No, actually he can push because I was planning to take back with the rook. If I take back with the pawn, that's a whole different story. Yeah, bishop e3 was definitely not the move. But I'm definitely taking it once, and then just moving my bishop to d2, or what? Or where, I mean. If I go rook d1, he takes my bishop, I take back, and then I get forked. Although I don't lose because the queen is pinned. So might as well just play rook d1. What? A rook sacrifice. What happens if I take? Is there gonna be queen d6? I still don't see the threat. I mean, I might be needing to sacrifice the rook back. No, I don't, because the queen guards f2. I probably should accept it. Don't see what happens. I mean, if I allow this capture, that would be catastrophic. So I'm thinking queen e2, or king g2. And then put my bishop on f4 and cover myself with that bishop. I need to speed up. That's for sure. I'm ready to take on d5, by the way. And he's thinking. So he decided to fork me. Yet I thought that's exactly what I prevented. It seems like the plan was to play d3 or what? Because d3 is something I cannot prevent. I move my knight, he plays d3. Or better move my bishop. Let's do that. Bishop f4, d3, and like queen d2. Okay, now I'm certainly gonna play knight e4. But just to ensure I'm not missing anything. Looks like I'm not. Or do I take first? Let's actually take first and then play knight e4. The fewer pieces are on the board, the more chances I have of winning. If he takes with the bishop, then I can play knight e4 and threaten queen c4. And if I can get that position, then I'm gonna be winning. I just need to not get flagged. Keeping up the time is my worst skills. Of course, if he takes the knight, I take back with the bishop. If he takes like this, knight e4, knight d5. I have no idea. Knight e4 looks correct. Let's do knight e4. Or could have I taken? Okay, he's attacking this. Now, queen e2. Let's go queen e2. Come on. He has d3, but then I have queen e3. Now I can take the bishop. Oh, no. Don't blunder a fork. Do not blunder a fork. This shouldn't blunder a fork. If he forks me, I just go here and... Oh! I forgot about queen h3. Okay. That was a stupid loss. Good game, bro. I want to analyze this game and see whether there were any chances of me to win. So I played the Danish Gambit. The variation against strong players. d6 has to be terrible. This is not the way to play the Danish Gambit. And then I feel like I played the opening quite well. Here, for some reason, I got confused with knight to e4, but then I can just take back and my bishop is protected twice. And here, queen d7, I thought he would play queen c8, guarding both pawns, and I would do something like knight d4 to put pressure. However, he decided to sacrifice the pawn on b7. And maybe I wasted some time here. I'm wondering what the valuation is. The position is actually equal. I didn't do anything particularly wrong. h6, so here I played bishop e3, completely forgetting about knight to g4. Maybe the move was indeed to play bishop h4 and then put my bishop on g3, although I didn't see any future for the bishop from there. Bishop d2 I didn't like because it took away my queen's mobility. So what does Stockfish think? Bishop f4. Didn't even consider that move. And as you can see, bishop e3 is not even in the first 5 lines of the engine. So that only makes sense that I gave away some advantage here. Now knight to g4, I decided to recapture with the rook, and then I prevented him from winning a piece by virtue of a fork. And then he sacrificed the rook. I think this is incorrect, because what happens if I just take, and after knight e5, I was thinking whether to play queen e2 or king g2. And honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with either move, but I chose king g2. And the position is actually equal. So the sacrifice maybe was indeed incorrect. Well, actually, it's the top engine move. I have no idea how it's possible. I would never play rook takes f3. Never even consider it. And after king g2, d4 is a bad move. It gives away advantage, but only if I find bishop f4, which I found, or queen e4, which was better, apparently. I found bishop f4. I'm wondering what the refutation is against knight e4. I think it's d3. Although I don't see how it wins black the game. d3, queen c3. Well, I didn't think queen c3. I thought queen d2. But then it seems like he has knight c4, which is indeed quite bad for white. So knight e4 was a mistake. Bishop f4 was a good move. Then I got the advantage. And then I made a wrong move somewhere here. Maybe the wrong move was knight e4, allowing the queen to f5. And now my knight cannot move. Maybe I should have indeed played knight d5. I didn't even think that he could play queen f5. That's the point. And now suddenly I have to defend. So was knight e4 the mistake? It was the mistake. I needed to sacrifice the rook back. That was the only move. Or knight d5 is slightly better than knight e4, but still, it's bad. It loses all of the advantage. Knight e4 is now losing because of queen f5. Queen e2 is the only move, and now either rook f8 or knight g6 was the way to continue the game. I played knight g3, trying to defend myself. And here, I needed to find king h1. I was so close to making a draw. Although I have to admit I would need to not fail, to not ruin the endgame, which I'm also quite bad at.